so you are Ruthenian Byzantine, right? And is it still proper to call you Orthodox?
In one sense, yes. So we call it big O Orthodox and little O Orthodox. So Orthodox means true glory or true belief, right glory, right belief. So we would consider ourselves Orthodox in that sense. That
doesn't mean like non-heretical. Like when we say somebody's Orthodox, we're saying that they follow the catechism.
Yeah, and
that's not big O that you're referring to, is
correct.
it?
Big O would refer to the Orthodox Church with Orthodox bishops and that organization. So there are Byzantine Catholics. There are by the way, we call them Byzantine Catholics in the U.S., but most other countries are going to call them Greek Catholics. So there are Greek Catholics, Byzantine Catholics. There are Eastern Catholics, if you will, to kind of clump all the other churches into one that will call themselves Orthodox in union with Rome, and they mean big Orthodox. They're saying we are the same as the Orthodox churches, and yet we are in union with Rome. I don't use that term, even though I do desire that. I don't use that term because when you have a structure and bishops, no Orthodox bishop is going to say that I'm Orthodox, because they call their church Orthodox, big Orthodox. So that's why I use the term. I'm certainly Orthodox, but I mean, the Orthodox Nicene Creed, they use it and they have the word Catholic Church. They don't mean big C Catholic. They mean little c Catholic, meaning universal or whole, complete. So we look just like the Orthodox. If you went to one of our churches and you went to my Ruthenian Byzantine Catholic Church, and you went to a Greek Orthodox Church or a Russian Orthodox Church, it would look almost exactly the same. We just commemorate the Pope in the liturgy, and they don't. That's the only liturgical difference you will see. Once you get into some of the administrative practices, you're going to start to see some differences like divorce and remarriage. You're going to find various churches that allow for artificial contraception and things like that in the Orthodox Church, where, of course, we don't.
Yeah, I got some questions on that. Okay. But before we get there, I've noticed something, Father, that, and by the way, like sometimes when I'm talking to you, Mike just slips out.
I've noticed that too, and that's perfect. I understand.
I spent all these years calling you Mike at Steubenville, trekking around Austria. We did the Austria travel abroad, and then before you got ordained, stayed in touch, but it slipped. So if it does, listeners, I'm not trying to be irreverent to the good Father here. By the way, it should be stated that having a Byzantine priest with the last name of O'Loughlin is just very strange. Right? I mean, it should be something Slavic, right?
It's becoming less and less strange, thank God. But yes, it is. That's the thing that's why there's so many rites and churches in the East, because we clung to the ethnic thing and the geographical thing much longer than the Roman Catholic Church did. So it is very odd. But one of the reasons why we call ourselves in the U.S. Byzantine, we use the name of the rite instead of the name of the church. So if you go to the Melkites, they're Melkite Byzantine, Russian Byzantine. We just say Byzantine instead of Ruthenian Byzantine, because even back in the 50s, our bishop said we want to be an American church. So Byzantine sounds less ethnic than Ruthenian does. Yeah. Ruthenian is a Latinization of the term Rusin, which became Russian. So you have those differences. So we Ruthenians, Byzantines, have kind of said we want to be less ethnically oriented in general. Again, each parish kind of has their own mindset, but in my parish in LA, it's also LA, but I have more Filipinos and Mexicans than I do Slavs in the parish nowadays. There's more Irish than there are Slavs.
Right. So. I've noticed that certain. Hey, thanks guys for checking out the Conor Gallagher Show. Please take a moment to like, subscribe, or comment, or whatever you got to do to support it. And I appreciate that very much.